everyone, it's Mary. Today a bit of a different angle and a bit of a different video as well. But I thought I'd do a my toddler current favorite books since I love books, you know, for children, and I never talk about books for children on my channel. I thought to do a dedicated video just for that topic, which I found very interesting again. And we've been reading books since he was born, since my son was born. He's now 22 months, so almost 2 years old. And he has phases, of course. We read books every day. He has this shelf which is very low. I'm sitting on the ground, so he can reach the books himself and choose which books to read. We do have some books in the bathroom as well for when he goes on the potty. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you all the books that we've been reading, but I'll show you a few that are his current, I would say, favorites. In terms of types of books that I look for him, I do believe that for young children, the best types of books are the ones that reflect the everyday life and just that they teach, not really teach, but they show children what they are seeing, you know, every day. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. Of course, you can you know, tell them stories as well, but I feel like very visual sort of non-fiction books are what attracts them the most, because they're trying to make sense of the world around them. They're trying to learn, you know, what the things around them are. And so books that reflect this sort of reality are the best ones, especially on this until they're like 3 years old. And in this and in many other things, I agree with Maria Montessori. She believed that fantastical sort of things like it wouldn't be too wise to introduce them too early, like, I don't know, dinosaurs or dragons. And I think it's 100% correct. I mean, there's nothing wrong with obviously providing children with those sort of stories, but I do believe that they try so hard to make sense of the world that if they see a dragon and they're like not even 2-year-olds, they're like, what is this? For example, my son loves animals. But he would for the longest time try to fit animals only in 2 categories. So are they cats or dogs? There's nothing else, obviously, because he didn't see any other animals. So obviously we widened our view of animals because he saw more animals even in real life. But I still struggle when he sees some like exotic sort of animal in books and he tries to put it in some sort of category that he can't, you know, he can't find. So yeah, that's why we're not exclusively, you know, giving him this sort of books. As you can see in the background, I have this very famous children's book, which is The Tiger Who Came to Tea, which obviously talks about a tiger coming to tea. So it's not something that would ever happen, and he doesn't know what a tiger is, but he really loves that one. So the books that I'm gonna show you are a mix of both things, because as I said, I try to buy and to have books that reflect reality mostly, but we do have, you know, other types of stories that are more unbelievable, I would say. So yeah, sorry for the long intro. The first book that I'll talk about is his favorite one, because I bought this one a month ago and we read it well, not read it, but we look at it every single day. And it's been a month. This one is just constantly in our hands. So this is, oh, it doesn't even fit the frame. It's very big, and it's called Bauernhof Wimmelbuch. Sorry if I butchered that. This is a German book, so I don't speak German. I don't even know what the title is. But I don't think you need to speak German to enjoy this book, because as you can see, this book is full of things, full of details, and that's what attracts my son. He's obsessed with, you know, very colorful, very illustrations that are full of details. So I thought I would find a book that was exactly that. And unfortunately, this one I did not find translated, not in Italian, not even in English. I don't know if it was just me that I couldn't find it, but I did find this one on Amazon, and it was very cheap actually. I think it was like not even €5, and for that cheap, I think it's an amazing book, and it's very sturdy, even though he managed to crack, you know, to crack it anyway, because that's my son. But yeah, I will show you that there are big spreads, and actually you have a small portion of text, which I don't think is important, because I don't think it tells you a story really. It's just, there are like different scenes, more farm-like scenes, a lot of people working. There are animals, there are farm animals, so I have to warn you on that. Like, if you don't approve of animals in a farm sort of environment, then this one is not for you. There are like cows being milked, and there's cheese being made from goat milk. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. If you don't want to have like this sort of thing, it's full of that. But we live in the countryside, and he could relate to a lot of stuff that's happening here. He loves to find things. We just spend really hours looking at this book. It's 100% recommended for toddlers. And then we have this one that I really enjoy because it has pictures, so he can really look at the picture of real people, you know. And it's called Hands Can, and basically tells you everything you can do with your hands. So saying hello, touch things, hands can say I love you. Oops, I was not even showing the book to you, sorry. He really loves this one. He loves to see other kids, and he loves to sort of mimic them. He says hi when it starts. He claps when they do. So I think this one is very good. I love, you know, picture books. I feel like for toddlers they're very effective. I didn't even tell you the author. I'm so bad. I'm not used to talking about children's books, obviously, but this is by Cheryl Hudson. This one. Then we have Where Do I Sleep? A Pacific Northwest Lullaby by Jennifer Blomgren, illustrated by Andrea Gabriel. And this is very sweet. He loves this one lately because he started to realize that animals make some sort of small families, I would say. He says, like, when I show him like this picture, he's like baby, and then mom, and he's a bit upset actually that there's no father or like father-like figure in this. Mostly we have babies with their mom, but I told him, of course, it could be the mom, the dad, whatever, just a parent figure, I would say. So yeah, I thought it was very sweet that he was looking for the father as well. But yeah, it has like different animals and a text, just a small text that tells where they're sleeping. So yeah, I think this one is very sweet. We don't usually read before bed just because it's not, I don't know why we didn't have like this sort of routine. When we go to bed, we sleep basically. But before, obviously, starting our nighttime routine, we do read books. But I don't think that this one would be specific to that time since he brings it up all the time. So he just loves to see animals cuddling, basically. So yeah, this one. And I want to briefly mention this because I don't think it's translated and it's an Italian book. It's The Grandma's Truck, I would say, by Anselmo Roveda and Paolo Domeniconi. And I absolutely love this one. He's obsessed with trucks, which I can understand since he loves anything that makes noise in general. But we live in the countryside, as I said, and he's seen like these big trucks all the time. He has seen them very closely, and he just loves them. So I thought I'd buy a book about a truck, which is a bit different because in this book we have, first of all, the illustrations are gorgeous. I love them. And in this we have the grandma that actually drives the truck and goes sort of to work, and the grandpa that stays home and cooks and does the laundry and all that jazz. So I loved this sort of different take on gender roles, I would say. So yeah, this one, he's obsessed with this one because it has a truck. So I knew that he would love this one. I'm almost done. I have to mention this one, which is called The Hug. This one was gifted to us, and it's one of those, I would say, not really with a story. Well, the truck one has a story as well, but this one is about animals, of course, talking to other animals, so it would not be realistic, but he loves it because he loves turtles, and it was one of the first words that he said. So, you know, he's like, turtle, and then he goes pick up the book. It's a sort of double narrative book, and there is this turtle that is trying to hug different animals and they wouldn't hug him. I don't know if it's a him or a her. They just find excuses not to hug it. And same thing with the hedgehog. And at the end, they find this owl that tells them, well, in the case of the hedgehog, you have prickles, so it's not. That's why the other animals don't want to hug you. And with the turtle, the owl is like, you've got a tough shell. And so in the middle of the book, they meet each other and they finally hug. So we have this page, which is the same page, you know, for all the sides. And it's very sweet, and he loves it because it has a turtle. This is one of the latest books that I got, which is Happy in Our Skin. And I love this one. This is about skin in general. It's not, you know, it's not specific, doesn't, you know, give you any sort of lesson. It just tells that when we're born, we have skin that grows with us, and we are happy in our skin. It has pimples, it has dimples, and it's sweet. He loves it because it's full of people. He loves people, and full of kids. And so, yeah, he's been asking me to read this one to him, and it has like a small portion of text that rhymes. So again, he really likes it. He likes especially this part. Where is it? Oh, I wanted to show you this picture. This one. That he always does the same thing. When we go here, he lifts his t-shirt and is like, Papi. That's how he calls his tummy. I don't know why. But yeah, Happy in Our Skin by Fran, Manushkin, illustrated by Lauren Tobia. And I didn't tell you that this one was by Eowyn McLaughlin and Polly Dunbar. Oopsie, what did I do? And Polly Dunbar. Sorry. The last book that I want to mention is a book that Leo was obsessed with this book, but is one of those that had absolutely nothing to do with the reality. because it's a Dr. Seuss book, and it's called Hop on Pop. And if you know Dr. Seuss, you know that it's not really realistic, I would say. And this is probably for older toddlers. I found this one mentioned in a book that I was reading, which was How Children Learn by John Holt. He mentions this book and how this toddler was really enjoying this for even learning words, because it rhymes, of course, and it has like this sort of word games. No, that's not the right thing to say. Like, oh, ball, we all play ball, wall, upon a wall. So that's why he really loves it, even though it's very not realistic, especially like when we get to the part of three fish in a tree. Fish in a tree? How can that be? So when we get here, he's like, birds, and I'm like, they're fish, and he looks at me like, why would fish would be on a tree? And I'm like, let's get on with the book. So he loves this though. He always says hop, 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 because he loves how it sounds, basically. So we've been reading this one for a long time. And again, this was very cheap, and it's very small. So all of these, of course, I recommend. What's wrong with my camera? All of those I recommend. I could do more of these videos if you enjoy them. Obviously, I do tend to buy a lot of books to my child, as I do for myself. I don't feel guilty buying books, and he loves them. So I feel like, you know, we will have more books to talk about. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and of course, if you have any recommendations for me, for him, I would be glad to hear them. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.